I restarted this video about 3 times. On the 3rd time, while I was recording, it came to me a movement. Yes, a gaming movement, not a bowel movement. Come on, guys. Yes, and this is the perfect movement for all the Sony fans who are boasting that Xbox games are going to the PlayStation. Now, you'll hear about that movement shortly. On the other hand, I am seeing some Xbox fans are crying. They are whining. They are bickering. Yes, you guys make me sick. You weak-hearted, jellyback moving Xbox fans. Yes. Why are you guys crying? Why are you guys upset? Because exactly what Phil Spencer said last week was going to happen happened? What's going on here? Phil Spencer said that 4 games was going to come to other platforms, and this is exactly what happened. Why are you guys crying and whining and doing all of these things? But I guess you guys are now working for PlayStation.
You have been promoted. You are now one of my elite employees.
So here's what we're going to do today in this video. We are going to talk about Palworld, how Palworld continues to break records, and how the player count on Xbox has increased. Although Helldivers is a good game, Helldivers cannot dream about having the success we are seeing in Palworld, an Xbox console exclusive. After, we will talk about how, some persons thought they knew what the next Microsoft console would have been. But new information has come out, and we are seeing that things are looking pretty good for the next console. In addition to that, during the course of the video, we will be highlighting the 4 games that Phil Spencer said will be going to other platforms. And every time we highlight a game, we'll be saying that new slogan, that new movement that we are trying to start. So you know what? Let's get it!
This is a sickness!
Let's get it! Before we start the video, let's take a look back at Now You Know gaming history. And today we are going to talk about Metal Gear Solid. Yes, Metal Gear Solid was a PlayStation game that was originally released in 1998. Now, this game, we could arguably say, is what brought Kojima into stardom, into gaming producing and gaming, creator stardom, because this game was unlike any other game. And this game was originally released for the PlayStation, as I said before, but in 2004, an edition came to the GameCube. Yes, a once exclusive PlayStation game came to the GameCube. You all saw what I did there? Yes. So this once PlayStation exclusive was being enjoyed by many GameCube players. And yes, I can recall my brother and I playing this game, and this game blew our minds wide open, because never before did we play a stealth-like game like this. You see, we were accustomed to playing games like, Perfect Dark, 007, all those games we would have been playing, not this stealth-like game that had you always, your heart beating fast, you don't want to be caught by the enemies. It was a really good time. I recall facing one boss with my older brother, and while facing that boss, it basically blew our mind, because what that boss was doing was reading the games that we were playing on our memory card. I mean, when he said, "I see you guys love to play Super Smash Brothers," I believed we dropped the controller. First, it blew our mind. So this was an excellent game back in the day. It had full voice acting, real good. Kojima really, was thinking out of the box for this game. Never again I saw a game, was so innovative like how this game used the technology back then and innovated. And guess what? This game came to the GameCube. So let me hear what are your memories of playing Metal Gear Solid, the first one, in the comment sections below. Don't forget that this segment is brought to you by the subscribe button. So hit the subscribe button if it is you want more gaming facts, more gaming news, and more pony salt than ever before. So let's get back to the video. Let's first start off by talking about Palworld. You see, Palworld is an astronomical success both on PC and on Xbox. You see, no one thought that this game would have been this fire before it released, but upon releasing, we would have seen that Palworld broke a lot of records both on Steam and on Xbox. Well, it has not stopped there. They are continuing the ball rolling when it comes to their content, because now we are getting a new report that Palworld is at 25 million. 15 million is who bought the game on Steam, and 10 million is who is playing it on Game Pass. Yes, there is a lot of people still playing Palworld as we speak today. If we were to look at the current Steam numbers, we've seen just in the past 24 minutes, over 200,000 persons were playing Palworld. The last 24 hours, over 300,000, and the max concurrent player, 2 million. So this is crazy when it comes to a game that was released a month ago. Now they are still making improvements on Palworld, but this is quite an achievement. 25 million persons played this game since it came out. Now let me hear what you think about Palworld numbers. Are you still surprised that this game is still charting after so long? Let me know in the comment sections below. Sony fans have been looking at Xbox fans like this. Why? Because we are eating over here. We recently had Palworld. We also got Stealth Drop Dead Island 2. Very graphic game, not for me. We are also playing Persona 3 Reloaded. We also going to have Hellblade 2 releasing just now. So we are eating good. All for free on Game Pass. Well, technically we are paying for those games, but who can beat that value? Altogether, if you were to pay for all of those games, you would have to pay about $160, and that's just a rough estimate. So we are eating here, we are eating games. And right now, the only game they have, quite frankly, is Helldivers 2. And we know that they will soon get fed up of Helldivers 2. I'll give it the next 2 weeks. Yes. So, because of our immense kindness, we have decided to give the PlayStation community, yes, the ponies, a game. We have decided to give them one of our smaller titles, Hi-Fi Rush. Yes, they are going to pay for the low price, $30, $29.99 for Hi-Fi Rush. And here is the slogan, guys. Here is the movement. Remember, when ponies pay, we all win. Next up, let's talk about the so-called PlayStation 5 Pro rumors. PlayStation is releasing another hardware. Let's listen to Screen Rant as they report the rumor.
Sounds like the PS5 Pro is releasing at the worst possible time. It looks like fans won't have to wait too long for a PS5 Pro, but the reported release window doesn't seem optimal for a number of reasons. The PlayStation 5 is expected to get a mid-generation refresh with an upcoming PS5 Pro, but based on rumored release plans, it sounds like the hardware could be dropping at a terrible time. The PS5 has been a strong seller since its launch, with component shortages initially leading to a long period of supply issues that seemingly only served to increase the demand. More recently, a revised slim model trimmed the size and unified the disc-based and digital versions of the console, making the disk drive a modular component that requires an initial online activation. A PlayStation 5 Pro has been generally expected to come at some point ever since the system was introduced, as last generation's PS4 Pro helped boost sales of the system well after its initial launch. The Pro version wasn't enough of a hardware overhaul to warrant a new generation, but it made it possible to play many games at higher frame rates or resolutions. The basic dynamic between the PS5 and PS5 Pro should be more or less the same, although it should now be possible to push more games to intense targets like 4K 60 FPS or 1080p 120 FPS. As reported by CNBC, industry analysts expect that a PlayStation 5 Pro will release this year, partly thanks to a decreased projection for 2024 sales in Sony's latest financial report. Polygon reported on another key piece of information from the same document. Sony doesn't plan to release any new major existing franchise titles next fiscal year. This doesn't necessarily mean that there won't be any exciting new game announcements, as Sony didn't exclude the possibility of new IPs or third-party offerings, but the lull in franchise entries could still be a disappointment for many.
So here's why Sony is coming out with the PlayStation 5 Pro. You all remember that for the holiday season, Sony did decrease the PlayStation 5, giving its customers a number of different deals, a number of different discounts for the PlayStation 5. And although they sold well during that time, it did not meet their expectations. And a matter of fact, that is why they decreased their expectations for this quarter. And because of that, because they did not meet sales expectation, because right now the PlayStation 5 is tracking behind the PlayStation 4. You all remember the ponies were saying that the Xbox Series consoles is tracking behind the Xbox One generation. Well, it's the same thing happening with the PlayStation 5. So because these things are happening, we are seeing that the executives are making moves to try to propel sales for their console. Hence the reason the PlayStation 5 Pro. Now, as you all know, right now the market is saturated with a number of different hardware, especially produced by Sony. Would this PlayStation 5 Pro drive sales for Sony? We'll have to wait and see. But right now we are seeing a lot of hardware. They have the PlayStation VR 2, they have the slim version of the Xbox, they have controllers, they have earbuds, they have all sorts of items. Would all of this propel sales to Sony? We'll have to wait and see. Let me hear what you think about that in the comment sections below. So the next two games that Sony would be getting coming to their platform is none other than Sea of Thieves. Yes, and Grounded, or as the Sony community say, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Yes, those two games will be coming to a PlayStation 5 console. So the same games that the PlayStation community would have laughed at the Xbox community because they were getting it, guess what? They would have to pay for it. Say it with me, guys. When ponies pay, we all win. So how much would they have to pay for Sea of Thieves, for example? For PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch, they would have to pay $60. For PlayStation 5, they would have to pay $70 if they want to play Sea of Thieves. Me matey. And what about Grounded? Yes, if it is Nintendo fans or Sony fans would like to play Grounded, they would have to pay $40. So check that with me so far. Hi-Fi Rush, they would have to pay $30. Grounded, they would pay $40. And if you are playing Sea of Thieves on PlayStation 5, you would have to pay $70. That so far is coming up to $140. Other gamers who are not Xbox fans would have to pay if they wanted to play those three games. But we are not done yet. We have a special game as the last game. Wait for it. And finally, let's talk about what was predicted that the next Xbox console was going to use. So many of the industry, analysts, many of the Sony fans was laughing because they would have seen some sort of rumor based on the leaks that Microsoft was thinking about using ARM architecture for their next console. But recently we saw Microsoft made a huge deal with Intel, which implies that Microsoft is not going to use ARM again. They're going to use one of the most powerful architectures out there, x86. Listen to this article here.
Microsoft and Intel strike a custom chip deal that could be worth billions. With the Microsoft deal, Intel notches a big partnership as it seeks to regain its former position at the top of chip manufacturing. Intel will be producing custom chips, designed by Microsoft for Microsoft, as part of a deal that Intel says is worth more than $15 billion. Intel announced the partnership during its Intel Foundry event today, although neither company specified what the chips would be used for. Bloomberg noted today that Microsoft has been planning in-house designs for both processors and AI accelerators. We are in the midst of a very exciting platform shift that will fundamentally transform productivity for every individual organization and the entire industry, said Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella in the official press release. The chips will use Intel's 18A process, which has been a big part of its roadmap since the company brought CEO Pat Gelsinger back to turn things around. The company is counting on its chip foundry services to put it back on top of the chip-making world, and it seems that Microsoft will be the first major customer for this project. Leaning on producing others' designs is a playbook that's worked well for competitor Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, TSMC, which has lucrative partnerships with companies like Apple, Qualcomm, and AMD. Gelsinger told VentureBeat today that the company's foundry is a big part of its strategy.
Wow, so this is some big news. So although the article does not say exactly what Microsoft will be using the chips for, we know that based on what Sarah Bond said.
And we got more to come. There's some exciting stuff coming out in hardware that we're going to share this holiday. And we're also invested in the next generation roadmap. And what we're really focused on there is delivering the largest technical leap you will have ever seen in a hardware generation, which makes it better for players and better for creators and the visions that they're building.
So when Sarah Bond said that, a lot of the PlayStation fans were saying that she was using wordplay to pull a wool over the eyes of the gaming community. But after we see this announcement, it's very clear that Microsoft's next generation console will be very powerful. So let me hear what you think about this. Finally, the final game that the PlayStation community would be paying to play is Pentiment. Woo, buddy, this game Pentiment scored higher than Helldivers. Yes, Pentiment. These guys are begging and pleading for this wonderful game. They would pay 20 USD for Pentiment. Yes, you see how that guy's sticking out his tongue there for you ponies? Pentiment, $20. If you want to play it, then you got to pay for it. Don't forget the slogan, guys. When ponies pay, we all win. So that is the end of the video, guys. Let me know what you think about the 4 games that the PlayStation community have to pay for if they want to play it. Let me know what you think about Microsoft going to one of the strongest chips architecture that any console could ever have, and let me know what you think about everything we said today. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos. I'll see you guys in the next one. Ponies, don't forget, when you pay, we all win.